Welcome back. You're still tuned into Our City. Before the break, we did a roundup of today's news and social media. Research statistics show that although 75% of the population in the Western Cape might require blood transfusions in their lifetime, a mere 1.5% are blood donors. Our journalists recently visited the Western Province Blood Transfusion Service in Long Street. As of today, the organization has 1 day's worth of donor blood in their bank. With this dwindling blood supply a reality, we encourage all our viewers to visit a blood donation center near to them and make that valuable donation that may help save up to 3 lives. Let's take a look.
Good evening.
Malise, can you please tell me a bit about the organization?
The Western Province Blood Transfusion Service is a non-profit healthcare organization, and we work throughout the Western Cape to both collect and supply safe blood and blood products throughout the whole province to all the communities. So that's the essence of what we do. We have a very basic donor criteria. You have to be between the ages of 16 to 65. You have to weigh more than 50 kilograms. You have to be in good general health. In other words, no colds and flus. And you also have to be or lead a safe sexual lifestyle. So that's our very basic criteria. So I always get a lot of people asking me, but I'm using this medication or I've got this condition. So sometimes you won't be able to donate because of the medication you use, and other times it would be the reason for why you use the medication. But we usually just ask people, if you're unsure, give us a call. We are a community organization. That's what we're there for, to help you. So at the moment, the demographics are blood donor demographics. It doesn't really show the demographics of the Western Cape. So we are really making extra effort, especially in the black communities, to educate people about blood donation, tell them how important it is to donate blood, and then in the end, seeing them coming to become blood donors. We are more likely to see older people becoming donors. We have a whole range of our older donors. When we find they donate at school because we've got school clinics, then we miss them during the tertiary times, and then when they settle down, when they have start having a family, being able to have an own property or own place to stay, then they will start donating again, but they have to be reminded about it constantly. And at the moment we are putting a very special focus on our young donors. The older generations are stepping down, and we really need to make an extra effort for the younger generation. They are our future in the end. So we are having competitions like our Youth Tube competition, which is extremely exciting for especially the young creatives to form part and just inform people and their peers actually about blood donation. So we're doing really extra efforts in that aspect.
What happens when my blood is deemed unsafe?
So each and every unit that is donated is tested for HIV, hepatitis, B and C, and syphilis. So that we do in-house testing for. If for some reason your blood might be tested positive for any of those, then we usually give you a call as the donor. We give you a call and then we ask you to come and see us. We will never ever inform you over a telephonic call that you have a positive result. You'll come in again, we'll test your blood again for confirmation, and then if it is tested positive for any of those, then we will refer you to a psychologist, we will counsel you, we'll take you through the whole process. So we have steps in place to assist our donors that might for some reason be positive.
Are there any risks involved when donating blood?
It is really a painless procedure. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable if the needle goes into your arm, but usually if you're a regular donor, it's nothing to be worried about. It's only for the first-time donors that it might feel a little funny. But as far as safety is concerned, we use sterile products every time. We open the needle in front of you. You can see that as a donor. We have a lot of safety measures in place for you as a donor and for the recipient, of course, at the end as well. So nothing to be scared about. It's an absolutely safe process.
When making a donation, how much blood is drawn?
So we only take 470 milliliters of your blood at every blood donation. So it's not that bad if you think about it, because it's less than a 500 milliliter cool drink. And we only allow people to donate every 56 days, because your iron takes about 6 to 8 weeks to be replenished by your body. So that's a safety measure on our side as well. So it's really not that much. And then I think people also confuse the rarest blood type with the one that we mostly use. If there is a blood shortage, you'll always hear us asking, we need O blood. And that is because the O blood type is the universal blood group. That means they are able to give to each and every other blood group, and there are about 8 of them. So that's our mostly used blood type. And then you have the AB negative, which is your 1 out of every 100 people has that blood type. So it's not necessarily the mostly needed, but it's definitely the rarest blood type.
So Melissa, I'd like to find out how much blood does your organization have?
At the moment, we have about a 2-day blood supply in the Western Cape. It's really not an ideal situation. We would like to be at a 5 to 7 day blood supply. The reason for that is that we have to fulfill in the demand of hospitals in the Western Cape. There's about 96 hospitals and emergency blood banks and all of that around the Western Cape, and we have to collect 700 units of blood per day to fulfill in that demand. So when I say 700 units, it's 700 people that actually has to donate every day. So the 2 days means that we are a bit conservative. In other words, we will issue blood when there is an emergency situation, and we will, of course, when there's cross-matching done, be sure that we give the correct blood type to the correct person instead of only using the O's in this instant for emergencies.
You launched your blood app in June.
Yes, it's actually the first blood donation app in South Africa, so we are extremely excited about it. It is called the WP Blood app. It's available on iOS and on Android. So we make it easy and accessible for everybody, and it's for free. And what this app does, it's a geolocation app. So it actually shows you your nearest clinic on the day if you drive past it. And then, of course, you are able, if you're a donor, to create your donor profile. You can see how many times you've donated, how many liters that translates into, and it also allows you to save your next donation date on your phone's calendar. And it also has some really interesting stories about our recipients, those that received blood, and it just takes you through their journey as well, so you as a donor know what impact you have on those people's lives. The Western Cape has about 3 blood donor centres, like this one at 22 Long Street, and then we also have one at N1 City Mall in the northern suburbs and Blue Route Mall in Tukai in the southern suburbs. So we are mostly made up out of mobile clinics. So that means that we have caravans and a bus, and we have mobile units that drive out to various places 5 days a week, residential areas, shopping malls, schools, tertiary institutions, businesses, factories. So we really try to take blood donation to the people instead of sitting back and wanting people to come to us. And you can find your nearest blood donor clinic on our website at wpblood.org.za, or you can use the app and see where your closest clinic is on the day.
Thank you, Melissa, for taking time out to sit with us. Looking forward to make my first donation today.
I'm so glad, and thank you for the opportunity. We really appreciate it.